Before we begin our service today, we acknowledge that we are gathering upon the homeland of the Western Abenaki people, a people of wisdom shared through their stories of what belonging means, of what it means to be a person and where the construct of person includes other than human beings, and what it means to walk as if all things matter. In the Abenaki tradition, the human conscience is understood to be a deep, spiritual connection to the natural world and an interconnectedness of all living things. Doing what is right is guided by the interconnectedness of all living things, and a collective responsibility, sense of responsibility, missed a word. And it is this interconnectedness we recognize that we are privileged to gather here as a religious community, and we do so honoring the Abenaki and their stories that remind us how to take care of the land and all that inhabit it. Good morning, I'm Diane Marie. My pronouns are she, her, and I am your worship associate today. And on behalf of the entire worship team, I warmly welcome you and deeply appreciate each of you here today. Did I lose voice? Oh, there it goes. Thank you to all who are gathered here in the sanctuary and to those of you joining our community via live stream for coming together in shared worship this morning. We are so glad you are here with us. This is a time when our thoughts are on preparing for winter and on the upcoming holidays, spending time with family and friends, or sharing a meal with someone you don't know at all. Some of you may have come today, as I have, with concerns in your hearts and minds about how to tend to ourselves during these tumultuous times, and also tend to those in our family and our community, and those caught up in the greater humanitarian issues of our nation. You have come to the right place. Since 1864, the Unitarian Church of Montpelier has been a sanctuary for those seeking both personal and spiritual sustenance and the promotion of widespread peace, justice, goodwill, and love. And we welcome all into this community where we affirm the worth and dignity of every person and the interdependence we share with all people and the natural world. It's always a pleasure to have newcomers and guests. If this is your first or second time visiting and you wish to do so, you are invited to stand or wave with your hands so we can give you a special welcome. Oh, wonderful. Newcomers are invited to fill out our welcome form available at the hospitality table in the vestry during coffee hour, so we may connect with you and welcome you more fully. Now let us take a moment to welcome our neighbors in the pews. Ah, yes, such lively conversations. All right. All of you are invited to continue your conversations during coffee hour after the service. So that everyone present can get the most out of our time together this morning, we have hearing assist devices at the back of the sanctuary, and you can also listen and watch the service in the fireplace room downstairs if you should care to leave the sanctuary for any reason. Also, a member of our lay pastoral care team is available here in the sanctuary after the service if you have a personal concern and would like to share more deeply. This morning, our lay pastoral caregiver is Mary Jean Olson. There she is. Thank you. Now, please make sure your cell phones are silenced. And then take a deep breath and enter more deeply into our time of worship with a prelude.
the truth within yourselves, as to the only Lamb. Be lambs unto yourselves, be your own confidence. Hold to the truth within yourselves, as to the only Lamb. Be lambs unto yourselves, be your own confidence. Hold to the truth within yourselves, as to the only Lamb.
These opening words are adapted from Stephen Schick. From the loneliness of troubled times we come to discover that we are not alone. Into the dwelling place of togetherness we come to collect remnants of hope. From fear that all is lost we come to discover what will save us. Into the comfort of each other's arms we come to feel the strength that has not yet vanished. From despair that walks alone we come to travel together. Into this dwelling place of generations we come to pledge allegiance to being peace and doing justice. And in this spirit, let us worship together this morning. I invite you to rise and bow to your spirit for our opening hymn. It's number 391 in the gray hymnal, Voice Still and Small. And Sarah will play it through once for us before we all join in together.
Please join me in welcoming the Hauser Tucker family to come up. Oh, wow, they're already here. To light the chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. We light this flame. You ready? We light this flame, an enduring symbol of our collective commitment to lead with truth and compassion. In unison, let us join our voices in saying these words of affirmation adapted from L. Griswold Williams. We covenant to speak honestly and listen deeply to each other and the voice within, treat each other with compassion and honor our differences, take responsibility for the impact our words, sanctions, and inactions have on each other, support each other in times of need and of grief, and celebrate the beauty and joy of our lives, honor the gifts of the past, and be gentle with each other as we grow, encourage each other in the brave work of creating a more beloved community and a healthy, sustainable world, and forgive each other and start again. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone, and especially good morning to all of the children and youth and young ones who are in the sanctuary this morning. I have a time for all ages to share with you, and I would love to invite you to come forward and join me for that. I'm going to invite you to take a seat up here on the floor in front of the chancel if you would like. And anyone else is welcome to come along with them. It's nice and cozy up here. I'm going to have you sit actually right in front of me down here because we're all going to need to be able to see the walls up front in just a moment. Great to see you all. And I think we also have some new friends. Welcome, everybody. It's great to see you. So I have this box that has a few items in it that have to do with our Time for All Ages. I'm wondering if someone would like to open it up and see what's inside. Abe, would you like to? We can have two people. Yeah, do you two want to come and see? Okay, it opens from this side. Can you hold up each item one by one that you find in there? Okay, hold it up real high so people can see. Okay, we've got some kind of lantern thing. Okay, yeah, can you hold that one up real high? We have a Pride Progress flag. What else do we have? Oh, this is don't worry, it's washed. It comes from my closet, though. It is. Does someone know what this is? Do you guys know what this is? It's a clergy shirt. It's like a collar on that shirt. Ooh, what do you have? A pen. Okay, and what's our last item? It's a legal pad, a pad to write on. Okay, well, what do all these things have to do with each other? We're going to find out. Thank you for opening up the box. So the Time for All Ages I want to share with you this morning has to do with our theme of the month. Someone remember what our theme is this month? Anyone? It's on the order of service. Integrity! Integrity is our theme this month. And integrity has a lot of different meanings. It's a word that I think even for adults is kind of hard to explain what integrity really means. The integrity that I want to talk with you about this morning is the kind of integrity that means staying true to who you are and what you believe. It's a part of what integrity means. And also following that still small voice inside of ourselves. And there's someone whose life, I think, really shows us what it means to live with integrity. And their name was Pauli Murray. Has anyone ever heard that name, Pauli Murray? Anyone familiar? Just a few hands. Okay, so we all have something to learn this morning. So we're going to share a short video about Pauli Murray's life with you now, and then talk about it a little bit after we see it. So we're going to have our video.
Have you ever thought about how our different identities can overlap to create multiple levels of discrimination? As a queer Black lawyer, poet, and civil rights activist, Polly Murray did. Polly's groundbreaking work in championing equality for all helped change America for the better. Born in Baltimore in 1910 and raised by an aunt who struggled to make ends meet, Polly was the only Black student in the high school and was denied admission to Columbia and Harvard University because they did not accept women at the time. At a racially integrated women's college in New York, however, Polly thrived. There, Polly attended lectures by key figures of the Harlem Renaissance, like writer Langston Hughes. Polly went on to study law at the historically Black school, Howard University, and was the only woman in the class. As a working lawyer who had experienced gender, racial, and economic discrimination firsthand, Polly specifically focused on civil rights law, coining the term Jane Crow, arguing that gender and racial discrimination were separate and different. Polly's work was so impressive, it was later used as a reference for Brown versus Board of Education, the landmark U.S. Supreme Court case that federally desegregated schools. Despite professional success, Polly faced many personal challenges. Struggling with gender identity, Polly extensively researched gender and sexuality and sought the help of doctors and counselors. At times, Polly wore androgynous clothing. Although Polly most often identified and presented as female in public, she often wrote about herself as male in private. The struggles were kept a secret, including the relationship Polly shared with a woman, Irene Barlow. But much of the pain and anguish was expressed in writing and poetry, which many believe is not given the credit it deserves. All the while, Polly remained a devout Christian, and in 1977 left law to become the first Black woman priest in the Episcopal Church. Polly died in 1985, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire change. Polly's ideas are described as a precursor to the concept of intersectionality, which defines how our multiple identities can overlap to create multiple levels of discrimination. How can we ensure all of our identities are understood and respected in America today?
So that great video was put together by the New York Historical Society. We can thank them for that educational piece. So Polly Murray was a pretty amazing person that not a lot of people know about. They were a lawyer, they were a poet, and they eventually became a priest of all things at the age of 62, decided to follow their calling. And I think that Polly is such an inspirational example of what it means to follow that still small voice inside of ourselves and the light within us. Yeah, you can follow that light within. There's no real flame inside the lamp. No worries, no worries. It's all a metaphor. You can follow that flame within yourself, and Polly's life really shows us what it means to be your true self no matter how other people might perceive you or try to stop you. So I hope you all can take Polly's example and apply it to your own lives and follow that light within you. Thanks for listening. I'm going to invite you all to stay right here because Caitlin and I want to lead us in a short ceremony to celebrate the beginning of the Lifespan Spiritual Exploration Program together. So Caitlin's going to join me. So before all of you head off to your programs, we want to pause in recognition of the beginning of this year of spiritual exploration together and invite you into a time of blessing.
So maybe you're a baby taking in the hymns from the back or the front of the sanctuary, a child about to join us in wondering and exploring in the children's chapel, a middle schooler about to create change in our local community, a high schooler contemplating what's important to you and the values that will shape your journey ahead, or maybe you're an adult who has joined a cellist circle. Our participation in spiritual exploration at UCM spans across ages and generations and also spans across time, from Sunday morning throughout the entire week.
So first we recognize our children and youth who are here, who are in the pews, or maybe away today. Thank you for all of the questions you have for us, for your laughter, your instinct for fun, and your sense of wonder.
And all of you who are family members of our children and youth, we recognize you too, because we know it takes a lot of work sometimes just to get here on Sunday and to thread the learning back home into life during the week. Thank you for being here.
We want to recognize all of you who have committed to volunteer with the Lifespan Spiritual Exploration Program, with any age of programming, whether you're a teacher, a facilitator, a committee member, a coordinator. Thank you for your commitment to the spiritual journeys of our people.
And if you are participating in an adult spiritual exploration program, or even considering it, we recognize you and your discernment and commitment as well. And now we invite all of us to offer a blessing for our children, youth, adult learners, and volunteers as they continue their year together. If you are a child, a youth, a family member of one, an adult spiritual explorer, or a spiritual exploration volunteer, we invite you to stand at this time.
I'll stand. Do you want to stand up for our blessing? Okay.
All right. Let us now join in a blessing, both those present here this morning and those who are not present, but also part of our community. And let us join in saying the words of blessing, which will be projected up on the walls of the sanctuary. And while we wait, look at this amazing group of people.
And whether you're in a formal role or not, you are part of this spiritual exploration program and doing that in your own ways.
Yeah. All right, well,
I think we're having a technical difficulty, but you and I can say these words of blessing.
Sounds great.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to make sure I'm looking at yours. Okay. This is the beginning of a new year. We are all part of this one community, children and adults alike. With gratitude, we bless those who nurture the spirits of the youngest members of this congregation, along with those who keep us learning as adults. With joy, we bless the children who remind us to be present and to live into the questions. We bless the adults who crave deeper connection with themselves and with others. May you have fun, grow, and learn together. May we all be nurtured and enriched by our shared spiritual journeys. And I invite all of us to embody this blessing by rubbing your hands together to create some good blessing energy in our hands, just extending that out to our whole community. Maybe bringing it in so you can also receive that blessing in your own body. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. You can be seated. All right, and I'll just share a little bit about what's happening in our spiritual exploration program today. So today in Children's Chapel, our pre-K grade 4 group will explore what makes our inner light shine. Meanwhile, our middle school youth group will be out in the community collecting trash around Montpelier with Nancy Schultz as their guide. When we sing everyone out, children in pre-K through grade 4 will exit through the front of the sanctuary here, and middle school youth group will exit through the back into the bell tower room. And if your child is not registered for spiritual exploration, or this is your first time joining us today, we are so delighted to have you here. Adults, please come with your children and youth to fill out the registration form, and then you are more than welcome to stay with your child or return to service. Both groups will run to approximately 11:15, and the Children's Chapel will be dismissed in the room between the vestibule and the vestry downstairs on the school street side exit, and youth group will meet up with their adults in coffee hour. And now let's hold all our wonderful children and youth in our hearts and sing them out as we go.
As an engaged, excuse me, as an engaged community, we have many opportunities to meet others and enjoy shared interest or learn something new. Here is some of what is happening now. Meditation services will once again be provided starting Tuesday at 6:30, and it runs for an hour. We also want to invite you all and anyone else you want to bring along to the activities fair in the vestry after this morning's service. Please join us and learn all the ways to get involved in the church activities. We also encourage you to stay up to date on all of the events and opportunities at the church by signing up for our weekly e-news. Every Friday morning, the weekly e-news is sent to your email address where you can read up on all the latest happenings at the church and discover ways to get involved in our community. The offering we take each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit to this place, to our community, and to the values of our faith. Each month through the UCM Community Pouch Program, we share a part of our collection with an important church fund or a community organization aligned with our values. This month's Community Pouch recipient is Friends of the Winooski, and today we are pleased to have the Executive Director, Michelle Braun, come up and tell us about the important work this organization does.
Good morning. I'm Michelle from Friends of the Winooski. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Friends of the Winooski River is a grassroots group that's just folks from the community coming together to do what we can for the health of the river. And we offer ways for anyone to get involved. You can volunteer to help with events, plant trees, clean trash out of the river. How many folks have done the river cleanup? Lots of you, yes, thank you. Collect water samples and serve on the board of directors or donate to support the mission. And we are so grateful that your congregation has chosen us to receive your donations this month. It's been a hard year, and your support means a lot. I don't know why. Sorry. Your donations are absolutely key to our impact on the river and in our communities. For every $100 we receive in private donations, our 3 staff are able to raise $2,000 in grants to support bigger impact projects like removing dams from rivers. We took 2 dams out of the Stevens Branch in Barrie this summer, or improving public access areas like we did at Baker Pond in Brookfield this year. And of course, when we talk about the Winooski River these days, we have to talk about flooding and flood resilience. And Friends of the Winooski River has been helping our communities navigate these challenges for a long time. Today, you're all welcome to join us on a field trip organized by your climate action team to visit the Dog River Park in Northfield. We developed this floodplain restoration park following Tropical Storm Irene in 2011. It has been featured in national media and is now serving as a model for what can be done with some of the hundreds of FEMA buyouts that are resulting from the floods of the last couple of years. And I realize that flood recovery and resilience move slowly, so it may seem for a long time that nothing is happening. It took almost 7 years after Irene to complete the Dog River Park project. So know that people in your community are working hard behind the scenes right now to bring about this type of project around our region. And I encourage you to sign up for Friends of the Winooski River's emails and follow us on social media to keep up with developments, and join us on today's tour to see how things might turn out. Thank you again.
Thank you, Michelle. Half of our cash offerings will go to the Community Pouch, Friends of the Winooski. The other half will directly support the mission and ministry of this congregation. If you wish to designate your entire offering to the community pouch, please indicate that with a note attached to your cash or in the memo line of your check. Checks will go to the church unless designated otherwise. You can find the offering pouches at the end of the pews and the side aisles, which looks like that's happened, and please pass them towards the center aisle. We are so grateful to each and every one of you for your generosity in its many forms. Your offering will now be gratefully received. The choir musical offering today is Ripple Effect. You might remember today's choir offering, Ripple Effect, from last year's Music Sunday service. We choose it for this month, and particularly as a coda to last week's service and protest, as an illustration of how many individual voices, each voicing their own truth, can contribute into something very powerful. The text for this piece comes from Hildegard of Bingen, "Love abounds in all," and Mother Teresa, "We ourselves feel that what we are doing is just a drop in the ocean, but the ocean would be less because of that missing drop."
Deep bows to the choir for that beautiful music. Thank you. I invite us to continue to deepen in our spirits and our bodies, fed by that beautiful music in this time of meditation and prayer. I invite you to just settle in where you are, allowing yourself to be fully present here and now in this community of beloveds who might be known to you, who might be new to you, friends and strangers, joined in a community of love, a community of compassion, a community in which we seek to find our center, our grounding, to find space enough to listen deeply within ourselves for the truth of our lives. These are indeed hard times. Times that test our faith, test our courage, call on us to dig deep within. But more than that, call on us to find the space of quiet, the space where we can set aside all of the noise, all of the distraction, and find what's true, and to hold on to that. May you know that you are not alone in that searching. You are held in this community of beloveds and in a love that is so much greater than us all. And in that spirit, let us join together in a few moments of quiet, just allowing ourselves to be here, present to all that is.
This is The Journey by Mary Oliver. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. Sometimes things happen that just knock us off center. Moments that catch you off guard, that make you feel smaller than you are or angrier than you'd like to be. Moments when the voices outside are louder than the voices within. Something like that happened to me a couple of months ago. I was at a gathering of colleagues, sitting down for lunch, talking to a couple of people I had just met, and they didn't know much about me. I didn't know much about them, and one of them asked me why I was there. Now, both of the people I was speaking with were at least a couple of decades older than I am, and sometimes in situations like this, when I share about my professional background, the response isn't always what I hope for. I told them a bit about my career up to that point and that I had been serving a congregation for more than 10 years. One of them laughed and said, "Yeah, she started when she was 12. Ouch. The comment shocked me. I could feel the heat of anger rise from my belly to my chest to my cheeks. And I knew in that moment that I could very well say something I'd regret later. In moments like these, it can be difficult to act as our best selves, to stay centered, to remain grounded in who we are and what we value. I find this story from the Buddhist tradition helpful. After decades of teaching and traveling, the Buddha was approaching the end of his life, and his students had gathered close, caring for him, listening for whatever final wisdom he might have to share. And his most devoted student, his first cousin, Ananda, was full of sorrow. He asked the Buddha how they could possibly carry on without their teacher. And the Buddha said, as is recorded in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, "Be islands unto yourselves, refuges unto yourselves, seeking no external refuge, with the Dhamma, that is the teaching, as your island, the Dhamma as your refuge, seeking no other refuge." Over the centuries, that teaching has been translated and interpreted in many ways, but the wisdom remains. Find grounding within yourself. Listen for the voice deep inside. Be the light. Don't allow the noise and opinions of others to shake the truth that you have cultivated. Don't let distractions pull you away from what is real and good. The Buddha was not only speaking to Ananda, but to the whole Sangha, the entire community of practicing monks. Buddhists speak of taking refuge in three things: the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. The example of awakening, the teachings that illuminate the path, and the community that travels it together. It's an orientation towards transcendent truth, towards spiritual practice, and toward companionship on this spiritual journey. Be an island or be a lamp unto yourselves. This doesn't mean go it alone or only trust yourself. It isn't a call to individualism, as is sometimes assumed. Instead, we find refuge from all the noise that tries to pull us from our truth by staying oriented toward what we value and by practicing those values with others. After that ageist comment was made to me during lunch, I tried to give the person a way out. I said, I think you were making a joke or maybe trying to give me a compliment, but I've actually worked really hard over many years to get where I am and become who I have become as a minister. Still didn't seem to register that I was upset or that the comment landed very hard. And I stewed for a couple of hours. We still had another day together, and I knew we'd be continuing to be part of the same community of colleagues. This wasn't something I could just ignore. I also wasn't going to be able to figure it out on my own. So I sought the counsel of the program director. I told them what had happened. I wrestled with my commitment to staying in covenantal relationship, with my urge to avoid conflict, and the emotional labor of working through it. Anyone? An amen, right? Come on. I cried. I did. I really cried. The director offered a few options. And after some time, I decided to write an email to this colleague, sharing my experience of the conversation and how it made me feel. I didn't know how they'd respond. I was afraid that the conflict could escalate. But they replied apologetically and thanked me for letting them know. Sometimes we have to listen for the wisdom within ourselves, with or without the direction of others, even when we're scared or feel all alone. I imagine those early followers of the Buddha must have felt pretty lonely after his death. They had to listen for wisdom no longer in his words, but in the quiet places of their own hearts. Sometimes following the wisdom of our own hearts can be lonely too, especially when it isn't popular. Researcher and writer Brené Brown puts it this way: integrity is choosing courage over comfort, choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy, and choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them. Sometimes that's what it means to take refuge, not in what's easy, but in what's true. Recently, I saw a story about a Catholic priest near Chicago. He was totally dressed in all of his clerical garb, holding the sacred Eucharist in his hands, the bread and the wine, and he had brought it to an immigration and customs enforcement facility. He wanted to offer communion, a sacrament in the Catholic tradition, to those detained there. Of course, he wasn't allowed in. Some criticized his actions as a desecration, saying that holy things shouldn't be brought into such a place. But others saw something else: a priest daring to carry holiness where it was needed most. That image has stayed with me. It's a picture of what it looks like to listen to that quiet voice of conscience, even when it leads us to places where that might be misunderstood. I thought of that integrity, of following the still, small voice within, when I read about a Marine colonel who, after 24 years of service, decided to resign his post. He felt he could no longer follow a commander-in-chief willing to disregard the Constitution. And I'm reminded of this integrity in the example of people like Polly Murray, who stay true to themselves and follow their heart and their calling, no matter how others might try to deter them. Our task, yours and mine, is to face each day willing to follow the wisdom of that inner voice, to cultivate clarity of conscience, even when the path isn't clear or the crowd isn't kind. The truth of that inner voice, the truth that keeps us centered, rarely comes from the noise and the din of external chatter. It comes from a discerning place within us. It emerges as we journey through our lives, freely and responsibly searching for meaning amid the competing claims for truth we encounter. It emerges through reflection, through mistakes, and through our interactions with others and the world. The theologian Catherine Keller puts it this way: to speak of truth is to speak of some kind of knowing. But though we are chock full of information, we seem as a people to be hypnotically out of touch, out of truth. So let us consider what kind of knowing, what kind of speaking is theologically at stake when we tell the truth. Theology, if it is truthful, is not a matter of processed truth, but of a truth in process. I love that phrase, a truth in process. It means that truth isn't something we possess once and for all. It's something we live into by questioning, by paying attention, by allowing our understanding to deepen. Our spiritual task is not to cling to truth, but to live truth as practice, to put our values in relationship with the world around us, and to keep growing in clarity and compassion. To do this, we have to practice turning down the noise that comes to us as other people's loud opinions, social media debates, or commentary stated as fact. It means making space for reflection, whether through quiet meditation or honest conversations with others who can help us hear our own truth. The religious, spiritual, and moral truths we come to claim through our own searching and through our tradition must be lived out in the world, a world so often full of deceit and greed and cruelty. In the midst of that, we are called to hold up integrity, accountability, and compassion. And that's not easy work. It requires patience and humility. It requires returning again and again to that inner refuge where the still, small voice speaks. It is like a small, steady flame, the flame of a lamp, perhaps. The Hindu festival of Diwali just ended this past Thursday. It's a celebration of light that pierces through darkness. And across India and the world, millions of people lit lamps or diyas, symbolizing the triumph of light over darkness, wisdom over ignorance, good over evil. I imagine that glow spreading through homes and streets, tiny points of light growing into a sea of radiance. That is our work, too. We, too, are called to light lamps of truth and goodness within ourselves, to keep them burning when the world feels heavy and uncertain, to tend them with honesty, courage, and love, so that when we are knocked off center by insult, by loss, by fear, we can return to that flame, to that place of refuge within, and remember who we are. May we be islands of truth and lamps of love. May we be a light for ourselves and for others, a light that guides us towards compassion, courage, and hope. So may it be. Let us join in our closing hymn, which is number 301 in the gray hymnal, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. We will sing the first 3 verses. Please rise in body or spirit.
draw our service to a close, we extinguish the chalice and carry within each of us its healing flame, the warmth of community, and the spark of hope into the days and weeks ahead. Please join in our unison our mission statement. It's in the program. We welcome all as we build a loving community to nurture each person's spiritual journey, serve human need, and protect the earth, our home.
I don't know, I think I want to just say that I love you all. And maybe we could all just turn and look at each other and just give a little sign of love and peace to someone near you. And you can invite everyone to go in peace and return again in love. And we'll conclude our service with the postlude.